Ben Simmons.
You're aiming to be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
And you think you can do that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Simmons, a gorgeous move and finish.
To see where this is all played out, you can't make this stuff up.
Needs 2 points for the triple-double.
Try not to compare myself to other players.
And he slams for 2.
Pieces of LeBron James, pieces of Magic Johnson.
His 10th triple-double of the year.
Is the dream, is it LeBron? Is it, I think, Michael Jordan? Do we see him as untouchable?
It's Ben Simmons.
Time for him to get nasty.
I thought he was going to be good, but I didn't think he was going to be this good this quick.
You know, he's an elite company already, and this is just his first year.
Imagine how good he's good again.
There's talk your next contract could be more than $100 million.
It's a lot.
You're telling me.
It's a lot of money.
Ben is so special.
He always thought he belonged.
Yeah.
He thought he had almost like a right to be out there regardless of his age or size or whatever. It was normal to him.
Hi, I'm Dave Simmons from the Newcastle Falcons. And part of my pregame routine involves playing a little one-on-one at home. So you guys are lucky enough to catch me during one of my sessions. Let's go, man. Ooh, physical. You're gonna like this. Can't go. Get out. Get out. To the hole. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
How'd you meet this lovely lady?
Oh, well, Julie and I met my first year out in Australia. I think Julie was part of the cheering team that was formed for the Melbourne Tigers. And
No, that's completely wrong. We've got to stop. Sorry, that's just completely wrong. I was never involved. I worked at the gym where you were working out. That's where I was. I wasn't involved with the cheerleaders at that stage.
no one cares.
Please don't say that.
It's just-
They do though. When I was in labour, the opening ceremony of the Atlanta Olympic Games was on.
Yeah, finally Ben arrived in '96 during the '96 opening ceremony.
That's right.
Yeah.
Family of 8 by this stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what age did Ben have a basketball in his hands?
6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
As soon as he
Could he even hold it at
as
6
soon as he could
months?
sit up. Yeah, as soon as he could sit up, the kids would put him on one side of the room and sit him down, and they'd just roll the ball to him.
As soon as I was on the dummy, I used to shoot into the sink. So things like that, I just loved the game.
The influence of your dad, I don't think that can be understated, can it?
Definitely not. He's a huge part of why I play the game and why I love it so much.
The early days, I'd have to, if my wife was working, I'd have to take him to training with me and, sit him on the side, and then he'd be on the court with the guys. And the guys were always very good with Ben, and he'd be out there shooting with them. But the thing was, he'd be shooting not as a little kid just enjoying it. He'd be like competing with them, thinking that he was on the same level. I've actually played in a game with Ben when he was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And one of my teammates, Lewis Young,
Yeah.
gives him a singlet, a jersey, and he puts it on, and he's there, he's thinking, when am I going to get in? And we finally put him in with like a minute or something to go. He comes down, swish, he hits a jump shot, and the crowd's going crazy, and the guy guarding him was just like, okay, this is not too funny. And he comes down again, and this guy's actually guarding him. I'm like, dude, he's 7, But that's the sort of kid he was, and it's sort of very serious about the game.
Did you used to play Dad one-on-one in the backyard?
Oh, all the time. And, my older sister, Olivia, she used to beat me up a few times. Never got the foul calls, but, that's who made me.
Your next question is, when did our last do? Probably 14, 15. I figured it was time to stop.
Was that because he beat you?
He was hitting shots. He was moving across the court. I went, how did he get there so quickly? So
We're done.
I thought, yeah, we're done. So, yeah, I knew it was time.
Once he let me go over to America to play high school basketball, that's when he kind of realized, okay, he's finally better than me. He kind of, gave it up and stopped playing me one-on-one.
You're still a teenager when you moved over.
Right.
What was the hardest thing to adjust to coming from Australia to America?
I think when I had so much downtime, we weren't playing the season was over, I just get homesick.
What was it about Australia that you missed the most?
I think just the people, the relaxed attitude, and it's just Aussies, the way we are. And obviously my family, my dog's back home. I'm a big animal lover, so he was back there, and a lot of my friends.
Well, speaking of animals, show us the shoes here, mate.
I don't know if you can see them. Some cheetah, zebra.
They're pretty understated.
Yeah, I mean, I just got them, a couple of hours ago, so I thought I'd throw them on.
When was the first time you thought, this Ben Simmons kid, he's a player?
Sort of, mid-teens, 15 years old, people started talking about him. And then he came to the United States to go to the high school program in Miami, and we were aware of him in some of the national camps. The awareness of his talents, we were aware of it.
What made Ben stand out above everyone else?
He's really got some sort of transformational quality about him that, put him into some pretty elite company with regard to comparisons. You talk about, at the time, we talked about pieces of LeBron James, pieces of Magic Johnson. These are some of the greatest players of all time.
It's a good company to be in.
But they're big, they're strong, they've got great vision, they play with speed. I think that, when you look at the entire package of who Ben Simmons is as a player, I think, those comparisons are warranted.
With the first pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Ben Simmons from Melbourne, Australia, and Louisiana State University.
So draft day comes, number 1 pick, Ben Simmons. Could you believe it?
That was crazy.
You were obviously talented as a kid. Did it occur to you when you were growing up that you're kind of destined for big things?
I felt like I was always going to be, the best every time I stepped on the court, and that's just the mentality I've always had playing the game.
And then to be drafted at number 1?
That was definitely my goal, going from high school to college, and then obviously to the NBA.
With a ping pong ball falling, we happen to get the first pick. The ping pong ball lets us have that pick. And, you have an opportunity to draft, one of your former players' sons some 20 whatever years later. You cannot make that up.
The build-up is so tremendous. And I used to lie in bed and I couldn't sleep. I'd be my mind would be racing. I'm thinking, how is he handling this? What is he thinking when he lies in bed? Is he calm? Is he worried? Is he scared? Is he
Were you worried
nervous?
and scared?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ben Simmons from Melbourne, Australia, and Louisiana State University.
On hand to celebrate this pick, Ben Simmons from Australia. At various points in his career, he's been compared in terms of skills to a LeBron James type of players. You see Johnny Jones is coached for 1 year at LSU, and that Sixers hat now goes on to Simmons as he makes his way to greet Adam Silver.
He's been drafted, sky's the limit. That first year, Ben suffered a terrible injury, kept him out effectively for a year. Was it panic stations?
When I heard about it, what was someone saying? Oh, it was some bad news. Oh, God, we're praying for him. I'm like, he's just broken his foot. It's like, okay, he'll be fine, He's 20 at the time. I'm like, he'll be fine. He'll heal. And that's what I truly believe. Didn't need the injury, but he needed time to grow a bit. So,
I think someone described it as devastating. And I was like, no, it's not devastating. Devastating is if you get a terrible diagnosis for an illness or a terminal illness or a death. That's devastating. This is just an injury. And in many ways, it gave Ben a year to mature, and it slowed everything down because he'd been on this roller coaster right through college, right up to the draft, through the draft, you know, through summer league, there was a lot going on still. And so it gave him a chance, and it gave us a chance to slow everything down. And it was actually good for him.
You know, that injury was something obviously that set him back and maybe set us back a little bit, but I think in the overall picture and the overall scheme of things, it was probably a blessing in disguise.
Were there times there that you thought, oh, is this going to happen?
No, that's exactly how I felt. It's like I finally made it to where I want to be in the NBA, and I'm not playing. It's like, am I ever going to see the court? Is this actually going to happen, or am I like dreaming? But for me, you know, I stuck with it, stayed with my rehab, and then obviously stayed in the court. And you know, once I got my opportunity, I took it.
Just, you know, that was enough to motivate him and say, well, I'm going to come back. And he told everyone bigger and better and ready to go. And yeah, he's lived up to it.
My gut, when I saw him and started to study him, is that I felt like he had the nature, the instinct, the skill package, and personality to be a point guard. The hardest position to play in our league. He has the ball the incredibly large majority of the game. And so the responsibility when you have the ball that much is obvious.
You see many point guards that big that move that quick?
No. Because even when you go back and you look at Magic Johnson, you know, he was an inch shorter and, you know, probably was more loping. You know, Ben is like right at you. He is A to B fast. He's going to run right through his shoulder. His baseline to baseline speed is off the charts elite. And so, no, I have not seen a point guard that big with those types of skills.
Miami has been the aggressor in the second quarter as Simmons lowers the boom on Wade. He'll pick up his third foul.
I think NBA, you know, once I'm on the floor, you know, I don't take shit from anybody. So, you know, I'm going to say what I need to say. You know, if somebody talks to me, you know, in a certain way, then I'm going to talk back.
So you can trash talk with the best of them?
For sure, for sure.
Ben has this alter ego. It's like he becomes a different person once he gets out there. But then when he's finished, that's it.
So there's the sports star.
Yeah.
And there's the sun.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what I love. Good job.
Started well.
I've got to wipe the sweat off now. Pardon? Yeah, I know, now he's good.
Been sort of watching different elements of your career, and I noticed a little while ago you had a bit of a bite at political opinion and caused some controversy here.
Right.
Did you call Donald Trump a dickhead?
Something like that. But I think, I mean, for me, just being an Australian and seeing what goes on back home, you know, we don't have people carrying around guns and things like, we don't have mass shootings like that. And it's kind of scary being over here. And, you know, you can go to Walmart and go buy a gun, which is crazy. You know, you can't do that in Australia. So I think just being an Australian and then seeing, you know, the politics back there and then comparing them to the States it's a whole nother level.
Do you like the idea of perhaps being able to convince people to change their ways?
In terms of like weapons?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
25. Ben Simmons.
Did you ever have any second thoughts about taking 25?
25 for sure. Dad wore it. It's just a family number, so I was going to take it.
His dad quietly pretty chuffed about that.
Yeah, he loved that. He loved that. So, I mean, I think it's awesome, you know, having our last name on the jersey and then 25, which is, you know, surreal.
I am honored that he's gotten a bit older now, that means something to him, and he's decided to, you know, honor it. Sort of like a family number, yeah.
It is a family number.
Yeah, they're a very competitive team, obviously a playoff team. And you know.
I have to be honest and say, though, the transition from Ben being drafted to where we are today hasn't all been smooth sailing. You know, there's definitely an adjustment for an entire family because of the fact that he has to grow and change. And it's really, you know, you've got your youngest brother and is a millionaire and is famous, and everyone had to find their new normal.
What do you think of Ben's Ferrari?
Oh my God. I nearly died when he told me he got it. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, I never say things like, oh, that's amazing. I shook my head and he goes, do you want to gonna come for a ride? And I'm hanging on like this for grim death. It was terrible. Hated it. But, you know, look, he's having fun with it. And that's why we've got to allow him to still be young
he's still a
and
young
do
boy.
that silly
He's
stuff.
21.
You know.
I'm thinking if I'm 21 and I've got that much, maybe I'm, you know, driving a Ferrari as well.
You got so much of your family here in Philly. Do they ever clip you over the ears and say, "Oh, pull your head in"?
My brother tries to sometimes, but at the same time.
You got a decent height difference on your brother, though. I reckon you stand your own.
Sometimes, you know, we get into little arguments, but it's all love.
He's always going to be the youngest of 6, so there is a little bit of a pecking order. But no, he...
Do you remind him of the pecking order?
Oh yeah, absolutely, when we all get together. But I'm the second youngest, so I get reminded too.
Hey, that's still above him.
It is. But you know, we're all really, really proud of him and what he's done. But does get a little bit surreal when you see people and, you know, you can't really go anywhere without getting stopped. Like, I know it must be hard for him sometimes, but he's really embraced it and we're really proud of him.
He does seem pretty grounded, though.
But he's a 21-year-old kid with a fairly large bank account, so he gets up to mischief. It's just dumb stuff, though. It's not anything crazy.
What can you tell us? What sort of mischief are we talking?
Look, the kid loves, you know, one day you'll come home and there'll be like a bunch of Nerf guns just sitting there and there's bullets everywhere and you're like, all right, something's going on here. So you leave the house for 5 minutes, you never know what's going to happen.
You take a picture of these beautiful ladies here. That's my wife.
Is there a girlfriend on the scene?
A little bit, yeah, I got a girlfriend, so. We'll cut that one.
If my life was like a movie, I need 50 sequels. I need 60 bad bitches acting like the single. Yeah, then you can still with us, don't the middle fingers. Don't want no drama, mama. We pulled up in that ooh la la. Ooh la la. Then backed out in that oh my God. Oh my God. Don't want no drama, mama.
There's talk your next contract could be more than $100 million.
It's a lot.
You're telling me.
It's a lot of money.
It's a hell of a lot of money, isn't it?
It's too much money. It's what you do with it, though. There is no point to any of this if you don't do something with your success. And it's not for now. I mean, he's still young, he's still figuring everything out, but I just hope that one day he really does get to a point where he can give back in a really, you know, meaningful way.
So you don't want your boy to just be a basketballer?
No, absolutely not. There is so much more that he can be and grow in a way that's going to be meaningful. He has a very gentle heart. He's a very kind kid. And I know that he will want to help people in some way. That's the important part of it, I think.
You've got some pretty unique skills. I've got something in my bag here that I think a lot of people say might be a bit of a factor. This.
Sharon. Yeah, I played footy for a while. I was always the ruckman. You know, I wanted to play forward, kick goals, but no, I love playing the game.
So what, Mum was campaigning for a bit of Aussie rules, was she?
Mum was, yeah, definitely. I mean, she's an Essendon fan, same as, you know, my uncles, so they were big Essendon fans, and, you know, of course they want to see their, you know, nephew and son play footy, so.
Are you an Essendon fan?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Was he a pretty good footballer?
He was a very good footballer. He really was. But he came to me one night after he received a letter to say that he'd been selected in this team, and I said, "You don't seem very excited, Ben." And he said, "Oh," I said, "Come on, what's going on?" I said, "You know, this is a big deal." He said, "Mum, I just want you to know I only really play footy for you." I'm like, oh my God, bad mother.
Did you learn much from AFL that you've been able to incorporate into NBA?
I think I've used two hip and shoulders, you know, this season.
I saw you drop someone.
Yeah, I've dropped a couple of people, but I think that comes out at the wrong time. But it's just the way I play. I think that physicality side of footy has definitely, you know, translated to basketball.
Let it go. He can score, he can pass, he can rebound. He's terrific.
He's a great shooter, great player, and he seems like he's a great guy.
I love Ben Simmons. I love him.
The locals here seem to have really adopted you.
Definitely, for sure. I think that's just Philly. It's a big sports town. You know, the Eagles, Phillies, and then Sixers. Obviously, they're huge fans. You know, they want to see, you know, guys play hard and be aggressive and win. And that's the mentality, you know, our team has right now.
What is it? 35 years since this team's won the finals.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I think we're getting there. We're getting better. We have the team that can, you know, get there and make some people excited and, you know, shake it up.
Could have played for America.
Oh, yeah.
What
definitely not. I mean, I'm Australian. No.
Yeah? Never tempted?
No, definitely
to be part of the dream team?
No. I think we can have our own dream team one day, so I think that would be amazing.
Ben Simmons, his 10th triple-double of the year and his 4th in the last 7 games.
Just another day, another record for you?
Something like that.
You know you passed Magic Johnson's all-time record for rookie seasons?
Yeah, it was funny. I knew I needed 2 assists and 2 rebounds, and then the assist just came like that.
I saw there was you needed a rebound with like 40 seconds left.
Covington went up for it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let him get it. And I was like, you know what, I want it. And he let me get it. I'm thankful I got a great teammate. So.
Does that kind of stuff mean a lot to you, or it's just another cog?
I think the way I play, if I play just naturally, it just happens. When I focus on it too much, that's when it, you know, kind of messes me up and I don't play the way I should be playing. So, I mean, it's awesome to get triple doubles. You know, I wasn't going to try and force it unless it was there, and it just came.
Now's my time, I wish you would try to stop my shine. The mastermind, keep up or get left behind. They try to bury me, but they ain't know I was a seed. I am the rose that grew from the concrete.
I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for him because it's what he wanted. It's all he's ever wanted. And to see him achieve that is great. I'm really happy for him because not everyone gets to live their dream.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because a lot of people come up and go, "Oh, you must be so proud." You know, and I always say, "Oh, proud of all of my kids," because it's not like, you know, we're happy for him. We really are happy for him when he's out there and he's got an opportunity to do something incredible. And we're just, happy to see him have success.
Still the same since day one. Always kept it A1. Say myself, I can't say.
What's the end goal at all of this?
I think just to be the best player to play the game, represent Australia the right way, get a medal for them, and then personally just be the best player I can.
The golden child, aka the chosen one.